Sebelum Anda masuk ke video saya, ada baiknya Anda like dan subscribe dulu. Saya beri waktu 5 detik. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Such a phenomenal showing coming out, but here you go. You can see we're getting everything set and ready to move into our last round of the day. Match number 5, Erangel for the Nations Cup. Everything is on the line right now. Plane is up and in the air. So with this very friendly plane path, nothing too crazy. Everybody should be able to get just about where they want to go.
We talked about it before the matchroom. Will there be a hot drop? You think maybe, I think not. We'll
think
see.
maybe.
I should have bet you $5
In
maybe.
my heart of hearts, I want to say yes, there is the potential for it. Also, we could see just a couple of teams clustering on top of each other. As look at how many people are jumping out, looking towards Razak right now. That could be a big factor. We've seen this be very, very popular inside of this. Naturally, Razak, School, Pachinki, a little action early coming out from the Finns as they made a nice little push back over towards this location as well. But I want to say this is kind of a comfort circle right now, unless somebody decides to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, the question I have is, okay, maybe we might not see anybody hot dropping, but we could see a lot of traps being set up. People just knowing where other people are going to rotate at right now and just trying to sit and wait, going for that squad wipe very, very early.
And I think two teams you got to keep your eye on for potential for that kind of situation are Vietnam and Canada. They need kills. They need a big game to give themselves a shot at winning this. So they have to be ultra aggressive. Every kill is so valuable for them.
Right now, it feels like so much is on Pio and Uba's shoulder. I mean, Uba has just been the absolute uber minch right now. He has been showing up and being a Superman. Pio has been a little bit quieter today. Circle pops and it moves all the way over to the east. And look at how much water's inside of that. That's going to make this really, really dangerous.
Yeah, this is going to be a tight circle to start out here. Outside of this circle are both Korea and Russia and Canada and Vietnam. All 4 of our top teams are not going to have an easy route necessarily into the circle. Maybe Vietnam, not so bad because they're up in Severny, but the other teams are going to have to traverse some difficult terrain to get there.
Big thank you to Unbiased Player Unknown, who I know loves evil circles as well as I do, so looks like we're getting a ton of them, so we're going to have to keep an eye on how this rotates and how these circles come into play, because right now, again, it feels like one of these games that's just on a knife's edge. One mistake could really tear this apart for either Korea or Russia and have that opportunity for potentially Canada to make their way up the leaderboard.
Can you imagine if this comes down to Korea and Russia as the last 2 teams standing? How incredibly insane that moment would be. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Oh, I'm willing to bet that the audience would just self-destruct. There'd just be explosions happening everywhere as it'd just be way too much hype and energy. As, I mean, let's be honest, the Korean fans out here have turned out en masse, and they are absolutely supporting their region right now. Taking a look at them, you can see that we got Loki, Aqua 5, Pio, and the Onyx all set up and posted. Meanwhile, Canada, in a very quiet, comfortable part of the map right now, kind of distant from the circle. Nothing too super scary, but it's going to be probably about 2 or so kilometers to go in here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of very long rotations coming out for several of these teams, opting towards the north, trying to go up around Stalber, bypass that area. But that's kind of the problem that happens in PUBG and competitive. Everybody tends to have the same idea, and suddenly this really safe spot you thought would be perfectly fine has 10 teams sitting there.
Right, a lot of times you'll see teams be like, well, not many teams drop in the north, so we're just going to rotate to the northern part of the circle, and then all of a sudden 3 other teams are doing that, and you're caught in a bad situation where you're pinched between a couple of other teams, and then you just get blown apart, and you're like, well, it seemed like a safe rotation, and it's not. So a lot of this is going to come down to scouting. You got to send someone out there, get the information, find out what's safe, and find a way to position yourself.
Argentina doing a little bit of a regroup right now, and here we go. We've got Thailand making the push as well. A lot of early rotations inside of a circle like this is not surprising in the slightest. Everybody wants to go in, carve out their home as early as they can, because nobody wants to be the last to a rotation party like this, because there is not, one, a lot of really easy locations to get to, and with as much water again inside of the circle, just less territory. No, Duckmans, that's not what you want to do right now.
Oh, no.
And they've only got a buggy. Can they flip it with this? It's up against the tree. I don't think that they can do it.
I don't think they're going to be able to. They're going to have to hoof it on foot here to get to that compound, if that is indeed where they intend to go. It looks like they might be forced to go there if that was not their original plan.
Well, now it is the plan. You just, modifications, right? That's the way you play PUBG. When stuff goes wrong, you just got to go, okay, nope, we're going to make our way over here. Vietnam on the move as well as looks like Thailand managed to find themselves a car to work with now.
You know, that's what, going back to your point you just made, we got some shots here. This is big. Aqua 5 taking some shots at the Aussies here, but it doesn't look like anything is connected quite yet.
It's a little ambitious, we'll say that. I mean, you can tell Korea's a little bit hype right now. They're like, we need every point. It's just 2 points between us and Russia. Meanwhile, Australia is trying to make their way over towards a safe spot. Korea's running a very interesting split right now. I think might be on the hunt for kills because they're all spread across the map. As you can see, over towards the west, they're all the way from Georgia Pool towards that bridge off to the side of it with Aqua 5 over there. Meanwhile, you can see Team UK up towards the north. Circle's now coming in. Russia's back down towards military base, which could be a big factor because it looks like Germany might be set with a bridge camp.
Shippies just ran over Duckman in the background there. Well, going back to what you said about Korea, they're set up right now. I think they're trying to see if they can catch some teams trying to rotate through that area, going up to that northern area of the circle that teams might think is, you know, unoccupied.
Duckman's having a world of hurt from cars right now, but you can see Godby looking back over towards the Brazilians. Preps out the grenade. That might land down next to Rusty Zero. Gonna have to keep an eye on it. It's just a lot of shots coming through, and there you go. Rogi does go down inside of this. Rusty Zero has the angle for it. Looks like smokes are gonna come down to try to provide a little bit of cover, but really, there's just a couple of Chinese in this location. They're just having to defend it up. Reinforcements now on the way on a buggy. That's very, very dangerous. It is so easy to get shot off the back of that.
Yeah, but they got to get in here and try to capitalize on this knock that Godby has got. The grenade does confirm the kill onto Rogi here for Godby. And here comes December and Mad.
They just flood into this, running up the hillside, trying to find the angle for it. Andy has a sight line back over towards us. Rusty Zero's just trying to look for it, playing down the lower part of the hill, just trying to see if they can get any sight lines, any information off of it. Being very, very careful about this push. December's starting to make his way up towards the building. What information can he get? What type of angles can he find off of this? And you can see Andy's just trying to get some grenades out, get a little bit more space away from the Chinese players.
Yeah, there's a lot of windows on the top story of that building, but December gets a grenade onto Rusty Zera, so it's just two standing here for Brazil right now.
Brazil has had a couple of issues as far as things have been going in the Nations Cup so far. Looking back down, they're very outnumbered at this point. Third-party fighting starting to happen. Everybody's drawing eyes back over towards this direction. Andy feels like maybe there might be somebody back over there. Nice grenade toss. Actually, the moment Mad walks right into that, so that's going to be a little bit more space bought out for Brazil right now. You can see Godby going for the reposition. Does Andy see it?
What a cooked grenade there to get the knock onto Mad. Now, looks like they might be able to get the res here as Mad is able to get in the battle.
Brazil's pushing
grenade
this.
From RD takes him down.
Brazil is pushing into this. They know that they're outnumbered and they need to get anything they can. December's holding the angle back over for it, but the two members just walk up. December's taken down. This is now a 2v2 as somehow RDNX survives with 1 hit point.
1 hit point left. Now you've got Godby trying to capitalize on this. He knows they're hurt, but he's taking some shots from Zoid from Australia.
God knows he's in a lot of trouble. Godby's just trying to find the angle back over for it. Summer's taking that damage as well. That's a member of China down. It's just Summer. He's trying to find the angle back over for it. He's just trying to find his way out of it, but there's just too many. He does get one of them, but he has near on no life, and there you go. China is out.
Wow, what a back and forth battle there between Brazil and China, and Andy FPS, one of the best players in Brazil, able to clutch it out.
Oh my God, look at this. It's gonna be a push coming up from Thailand. Are they aware? Surely they heard the firefight coming over here. Do they want to participate? And again, they flipped their vehicles, man. You guys gotta practice your drive.
We're seeing a lot of accidents with the vehicles across this tournament, but Thailand hungry for kills, trying to see if they can leapfrog a little bit in the point standings, get themselves some extra cash.
So Thailand looking back over towards this. Now you can see Duckman's just trying to find the angle for it. They have the numbers. Brazil already made a very aggressive push just a second ago. You can see a little bit damage at this point. Naturally already just lost those last two members. They're just trying to find a little bit of angle, get some time to recover. They need to get a very big down to start with this. And 6-1 actually taking some shots on the other side of it.
Yeah, some damage being done there. Thailand looking to see if they can set up, find the angles in this window. You can see Shippy's got that car 98 here. Maybe he can land a nice domed headshot with that thing, get this rolling for them. But you can see a couple other teams, Vietnam and Australia, are taking pot shots into this.
Korea's already on the move right now, making their way back over towards the north. No surprise there. This was fully expected in how they were going to make the pass back over for it. Russia coming into the circle late as well. New circle pops directly centered up on a ton of teams. Korea and Russia are going to have to figure out how they want to handle this, as again, these are the guys at the top of the leaderboard. They're sitting out trying to be passive so that way they can get a little bit more survival, but with these circle shrinks going the way that they're going, it's going to make it very hard for them to find any home.
Neither team wants to make a mistake here. That's why you see our top two teams being very cautious entering this circle. A lot of the other teams here playing for prize money, so they're trying to get kills and points, being aggressive. We're going to see some fighting here, as we saw with Thailand pushing into Brazil. Brazil and China fighting early on. They want to try to secure higher positions.
So Russia on the move. They're probably going to commit to staying edge. Both these teams going to be very quiet for right now, very comfortable with what's going on. You can see Canada having a couple of shots thrown back their way, as Pome is also going to follow it up with a grenade, but I think we can see them. Canada should be safe where they're at right now, depending on the bounce, but it's going to go on the outside. Just do a little bit of damage, scare the door, blow it back inside there, but it should be okay.
I thought that one might bounce through the door there. Doesn't quite get it. Moody, though, gets a nice rip on the ribbox.
Look at that. Moody just follows it up. Argentina's kind of regretting being a little bit aggressive now as they're making their way back up that hill. Do lose one member for it. So Argentina is going to have the high ground based off of it, but Canada is running a 2-2 split, so could collapse back up onto this angle.
Another knock here for Maluk from Canada. These are big, big points if they can secure this. The smoke does come down as they're trying to get 2 sills in. We'll see if they can get this res off. You can see K-Mine trying to position to prevent this, but now Russia's going to be pushing in onto UK.
Are they going to try to do this? No, don't spin your teammate's car. Uba's just going to pull back away from this. Are we going to see them push back over towards UK? Russia knows that they need points. Remember, just 2 points behind right now. They need anything they can get, and it looks like they might be looking back over towards Team UK. There's 2 members right there. There's your points you need, boys.
Yeah, it's Team UK with a 2-2 split here across a large area. They've got those yellow houses that are the south of Yasnaya as well. We'll see if Russia will take advantage of that odd man situation as they push forward. A battle going on here between Chinese Taipei and Japan. 2 members of Japan are down there.
Lots of members of Japan down inside that position, but we're coming back over here with Russia still on the hunt looking for Team UK. You can see they jump inside the UAZ, but this is going to be a lot of bullets, and that's 2 points making its way over towards Russia. That's tying it up.
Too little, too late there for the UK. They weren't able to make it out in time, and Russia now is tied with Korea in the standings.
Russia should be fine, should be able to get this res off, plenty of smokes. Angle should be clear on the backside of this. They also have themselves a building that they can make a play off of. The other 2 members of Team UK looking back on the side of this. And you know Korea is paying attention to the kill feed right now. Every single time they see a Russian get a kill, they know that they need to step it up and get something themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Korea doing something really interesting here. Inonix way up on the northern part of the circle. Pio way on the eastern part. Loki and Aqua 5 together. This is their strategy. Pio and Inonix are allowed to roam and do what they want. Loki and Aqua 5 are kind of their brute force, their blunt object they use to breach situations they want to get into.
Finland losing Jimpty in a side skirmish, but naturally we're going to try to stay as connected to the guys at the top of the leaderboard as we can. No disrespect to Finland right now, but they're kind of freeland, so really we're not going to be watching them too much.
They usually like to say Winland, but today in this tournament, it has not been their tournament for them. Back over to Russia here, who has secured this compound, and they are going to hold on to that as we wait to see where our second circle will go.
All right, and here we go. Just another center up. Korea does have a little bit of foothold inside of this. Naturally, you can see it looks like just Argentina's going to have to make their push off to one side of it. So now really we do have Thailand and Brazil. Remember, we saw them a while ago. They're right in the middle of the circle.
Yeah, this could be really interesting. It looks like it might start to center around that compound that Thailand has opted to push into early on. They haven't tried to breach and push Brazil out of there yet. They're happy to stay on that southeastern side of it. Maybe they might think about trying to push them out at some point, but Thailand's also kind of, I think, a little bit battered today psychologically. They just got beat up by Russia.
I mean, Russia has had an absolutely explosive day. It feels like they're kind of beating up on everybody. Oddly enough, based off of rotations, we see Russia and Korea on opposite parts on the circle on a regular basis, and that's what's freeing up a lot of these kills. Iroh's looking back down towards the Argentinians right now, seeing if he can find any sight lines, but it's so hard at this angle inside of this building, looking into that forest that's popped up. You just don't really have any clear way to actually get anybody until they're right on top of you.
Yeah, there's not much sight lines coming out of there. Over to Inonix here, who is outside the circle, but he's making his way in, just trying to get all the information he can up on this hill for the rest of his team who's out in front of him. Just taking out some windows there, maybe seeing if he can get lucky with a shot or two. Here are the other 3 members who are posted up on the northern end of the circle.
Australia running a 2-2 split, as well as Vietnam. You can see Argentina just towards the north of Turkey. Meanwhile, surrounding entirety of Finland right now. Off to the side of that, you've got Thailand and the Brazilian, or I should say, yeah, 2 Brazilians over there. They're just kind of stacked up on top of each other. So Korea now on the move, probably just going to firmly regroup. towards the north, it's kind of quiet right now just because of the way that the spacing and the terrain plays into it. You can take a couple of pot shots back and forth, but unless you just choose to breach inside of that, well, I say this, Japan's just going to go ahead and get a nice spray, but it's going to be a follow-up coming out from Duckmans to eliminate Japan.
Wow, Duckmans gets the headshot. Depp does do some damage here to Canada. That is crucial here. That might actually put Canada in danger of not being able to compete for the championship.
So now Korea's firmly regrouped at this stage. Again, we keep talking about it. One mistake. There is so much pressure on these players right now. It has got to be so intense. Every single time you hear the audience just erupt in cheers, this place shakes with how excited these guys get. And that's got to add that next level. Just going, okay, I have to make sure I hold this together. Meanwhile, Moody's coming over here and just picking up loot from 2 different people. It's like, thanks, teammate. I appreciate everything you collected for me.
It's been so exciting, and Japan does end up going down there, but Japan with 2 chicken dinners here in this tournament. They played very, very well. This is an up-and-coming region that continues to surprise on the international stage.
I mean, Japan has been developing a very nice region for quite a while. Naturally, if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you tune into all of the regions, anything that you want to support inside the area. Naturally, each one of the teams you see here is competing in some form of fashion in the PUBG official leagues. So now here we go. Where's the circle going to go? Shift back over towards the east where all of the violence and mayhem has been at. So with this, Russia, Korea, Australia, all going to have to move.
Right, the 2 big teams are outside of this circle. They're going to have to play the edge game. Korea might have to try to find a way in through Vietnam, potentially, depending on how they rotate. Russia, on the other hand, maybe if they go south here, they might bump into the U.S.
U.S., I love you right now, but just get away from this spot. This is very, very dangerous depending on how they go through with this. So now based off of their positioning, Russia is still just trying to get a little bit more information. Korea still on the hunt, trying to find some kills at very long range, but hasn't necessarily wanted to make the push in yet. Both those teams still playing very passive and very controlled.
Well, I think they're probably smartly playing to their strong suit. They're insane snipers. Pio and Anonix are absolute monsters with sniper rifles. They're great at long range. They can land shots at absurd distances.
All right, well, here comes the push coming out from the Russians. There's not a lot of territory that's going to be safe at this stage. Moody is just kind of posted up back over here by himself, might actually spot out this rotation. He's going to actually hop into a motorcycle himself and ride along with them, so that's a full-on motorcycle gang just cutting across this. USA does get a sightline back over towards Russia, hitting a couple of shots back over to it. Got to be very careful. Russia loses 1 member inside of their rotation.
Bahawaka with the great pick onto Kemba there. Let's see if Russia can find a way to get him. He's got that rock there. Bahawaka now taking some shots from the Russian team.
Look at this. Russia's trying to get some retaliation damage back over towards it. USA just playing right along the edge of the circle. Kimba's just crawling. He's going to get taken out. So there we go. Officially down to 3. Russia's just trying to spot out, trying to get the kills back over towards it. So does get one of their own.
Yeah, another couple points here possibly coming in for Russia as they post up in this battle with the U.S. You can see Valiate does get confirmed there. Now Korea, in the meantime, has made their way north, back over to the battle. Aduzi trying to land some shots onto the USA members. Bahawaka.
Motorcycle, is he going for a push onto this? I was going to say that's going to be a little bit too risky. Pio goes down in exchange with the UK right now. That could be a big influencer. We talk about it. This is the big guy. Oh my God, Michael is going to take out Pio real early.
Wow, that is disaster for South Korea. You can't lose your best player like that. Pio overstepping his bounds and gets taken out.
USA's Bahawaka just trying to survive right now. Russia's just wanting every point that they can muster. Looking back on the other side of this, Moody just hears everything happen. It's like, I don't think I want to participate in any of this. Sharky goes down as well. That's going to make it even worse. Oh no, going to go ahead and flush out Drassel. So that's just more and more points stacking up for Russia.
Even losing a member early here for Russia, they've already picked up 4 big kills. The U.S. was able to get 1, but they can't follow up on it. It's Bahawaka. Sharky is down here. He is the last one standing. Bahawaka taking a lot of damage. Now Moody getting in on this, hitting up Uba.
Taking a couple of shots on the outside as Uba was playing it a little bit aggressive. He's going to go down. Both star players for both the top 2 teams have gone down very early inside of this game.
Wow, what a moment here. Great shooting by Moody, playing the spoiler for Russia, who are just down to a doozy and Seiya left.
Here's the big thing. Russia's been very active in the early game. They've been picking up these kills as they move through. That could be a huge factor. They have to be so cautious at this point. New Shrink goes in, and we just keep moving further and further into Mansion.
We're going to get a Mansion circle, it looks like here, Matchroom. You can see Loki. We're still 3 members strong for Korea. They still have Inonix, one of the best players in this tournament so far. He popped off yesterday. Maybe he'll be the hero here.
The problem with it is where Korea is at. They're inside that forest we were just talking about a second ago. There's not clear sight lines. They need kills right now. They need everything that they can get, unless Russia goes down early. Just 2 members up. Moody could be the hope for Korea right now as Russia is making the push on the side of this. Has to be very cautious. Remember, back over towards Heaven earlier, we saw that that's where Thailand was at, where Australia was at. This is the same angle that Russia's pushing back over towards. There's a lot of teams that are going to be making their way into the circle right where Russia's moving to.
Yeah, we'll see if Moody can continue to play spoiler there for Team Canada. Moving over to Thailand, who's in a battle with the last 2 members of the UK. Michael is knocked here, so it's just 1 left standing. Moody trying to get some shots onto a doozy, only a little bit of damage done.
You can see a doozy's just going to cut it over there. I've heard of Tokyo drift there, but we got some Seoul drift going on as he just does that slide right off the side of it. Russia does look like they're going to manage to regroup. Korea does manage to get a couple of shots back over towards this, but the kill's going to go over towards Duckman's. Still holding that angle back over here. So Russia, what are you going to do?
Yeah, Thailand is going to have to abandon Heaven here. They're going to have to move down. It's a tricky position to get out of. There's quite a bit of exposed terrain around it.
So now Russia, they still need to make their way forward about another 100 meters. Russia's trying to figure out what they're going to do. Thailand just opts into running straight down the hillside. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Koreans towards him, but I think he manages to survive for just right now. Back behind this, the rest of Thailand is going to come back down towards this rock. Actually, look at that. They're separating out at this stage. They're going full-on send-it mode, it feels like.
Yeah, they're pushing ahead. They're going to let Minoru patch up here. Seiya trying to find a way to get into the circle, waiting as long as they possibly could, hoping that the other teams will start fighting each other and get distracted.
Russia has to be so cautious on this approach. Loki is just looking back over towards these angles, and you can see this is kind of the problem with where Korea is playing. There's no clear sight lines. People can just bounce back and forth between these trees, and it's so hard. You can maybe get it down, but you have to push to finalize something, and there we go. Aqua 5 realizes, okay, let's stop playing this little peekaboo game. Let me get into a spot where maybe I can get some kills.
Yeah, this position is a bit of a double-edged sword. Yes, you have cover for yourself, but that means there's a lot of places for other teams to hide as well. So trying to get through there can be very, very challenging. Here's Russia trying to find a way into the circle. They have managed to find the western edge.
One thing to note is they're on the backside of Thailand taking a couple of shots. Keep in mind, based off of that angle, they were trying to avoid Korea, so a doozy does manage to get it down. Might be able to flush this out. It depends on how Thailand moves back between this. Minoru is in a bad spot. New circle pops, staying back down towards Mansion, but really it's about what's happening between Korea, Thailand, and Russia, and who's going to pick up these kills.
Oh, Loki, can you get the flush here? No, and Doozy steals it.
Doozy takes it away from him. Korea just cannot get a kill that they so desperately need right now.
Russia is playing heartbreaker here. 7 big kills for them already. 0 so far for Korea, who has also lost PO.
Korea has to step it up. They have to be aware. They have to know that Russia is just stacking kills at this point. The problem comes into play is where does Russia go? There's nowhere safe for them, and they know it. They're just playing right along the edge of the circle trying to go, where do we even move to?
And now Seiya's looking over to try to find Moody, try to maybe get some revenge for those earlier kills that he got. Let's see how this plans out. Now Korea is going to have to push into this circle, and there is a lot of congestion at the northern edge, including a full Vietnam squad.
And Vietnam has been explosive as they make their ways through it. Russia's just looking like they're trying to follow up back behind that, figure out where those kills went over towards. So Russia gonna have to push right back on over towards Turkey. Meanwhile, Korea looking towards Vietnam. This could be a very hazardous fight, as right along this hillside, there's so many little dips and valleys. You can see these guys are so close to each other, haven't realized it. Listening to footsteps is so key. Aqua 5 goes down to the blue zone at this stage of the game. Are you kidding me?
I wonder if that might have been a disconnect there. That might be a real tragedy for Korea. It's Loki and Inonix here, the last 2 members, and Vietnam is well aware of what is going on.
They're walking into a 2v4. Loki's down. Inonix is the last person up. Does manage to get it down on it, but he is the last hope for Korea. Looking back over this angle, he's almost dead, trying to find something out of that, and Korea is down and out.
That is it. Korea is out of contention. contention
Russia's
for the
going for it.
championship. Russia is pushing in onto Thailand here. Shippy trying to defend for Thailand.
Thailand's just holding up the stairs right now. Grenades are starting to pop back over around that angle onto it. Look at this. You can tell Russia knows what's going on. They know they have the kills. They just need to keep accumulating whatever points that they can get at this stage.
Now Russia can play safe and cautious. They are in the leaderboard. They are on top of the leaderboard here. Let's see if they can get it done. Shippy narrowly avoiding disaster there.
But let's be honest, it's Duckmans. We've seen this guy go absolutely nuts. It's going to be real big for him. Russians taking a lot of damage. Russia is eliminated in 9th.
In 9th place, so it's going to take an absolute miracle for someone to overtake them. I don't know if there's even enough players alive that Moody could kill everybody or Vietnam could kill everybody to surpass them. Russia looks to be firmly in the driver's seat here.
So Vietnam back over towards the north, still holding down the forested areas. We're going to have to see how everybody makes the moves. Finally moving away from Mansion just a little bit towards those fields, and those fields are so deadly. They are just out and in the open. So Germany's making the plays around that. We do have Chinese Taipei that's holding down a building inside a position as well. Moody, somehow, some way, still alive at this stage of the game.
Moody doing the best he can here to give Canada potential higher position here. I don't think it's going to happen. There's just too much he has to do. It looks like we pretty much have our 1 and 2 solidified as far as we can tell, but you never know. Anything can happen, and Iro is keeping Moody pinned down.
Moody, you're in a real rough spot there, buddy. I mean, unless you somehow manage to hit like a crazy shot or just manage to drive the hell out of that motorcycle, that rock might be your tombstone.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. He's going to have to make a mad dash now. The good news is he does have a motorcycle, which is the best vehicle for doing that.
I mean, if you just got to get the hell out of Dodge, that's the way to go. Duckman's still on the hunt, looking around. Vietnam now on the move. They've heard a couple of shots, but Levis goes down inside of an exchange. Vietnam still just trying to push up back towards this hillside. Another shot's going to come out, forcing him to drop back down on this angle. He's just spraying the window. But look, Turkey could reposition off to the side of this and get a nice third party. Actually, Nim just goes down to a nice grenade from SR.
SR Vietnam trying to get through here. Basil taking a lot of damage as well. Sapao looks like he might go down, but Basil does take down SR here. Sapao down to 1 health.
Narrowly dodging, ducking, weaving through this. Finally, Vietnam goes, okay, that is just not the direction we want to go. It is too dangerous. Sapao back behind this rock. Not inside the safe zone as of yet. A little bit of damage was done back over towards what was looking back on this angle, but should be perfectly fine. You can see it's just getting clustered. 15 people still alive. 6 teams making the move right now, so have to be very careful as how they move around the mansion.
Oh, Sapao landing some nice headshots here. He might be able to get the res onto Basil going, throwing up some smokes, but Germany's coming in on this. Sapao continues to have to push forward.
So Germany has an angle back over towards this. Really, it's little bitty mini skirmishes that are happening as people get sightlines back and forth. Sapao sees the grenade explode right in front of him. Germany still has 3 members up on the hunt, just trying to find the angle. They have the most control over the circle right now and kind of funneling everybody to stay forced inside of Mansion.
And now the circle has tightened up and Germany controls that southern edge so well. They've got that hill in front of them there for cover. You've still got the members of Chinese Taipei in that house that's in the middle of the circle. So this is looking to be quite an advantageous position for them.
Vietnam's last member crawling around, just seeing maybe if one of these grenades will connect, buy him a little bit more space onto this. Turkey still in an interesting spot, how they're lined up. Chinese Taipei hits a nice shot back over towards the bow. That's going to go ahead and knock out Vietnam.
Vietnam goes down in 4th place. What a tournament for them. They played so well here on an international stage. They finally got a chance once again to come to one of these events, and they came out big, especially with that first game.
Oh, Leo just has his head ripped off by Iro there. Turkey has been quietly hanging out right in the middle of Mansion, but look at the push. They know that they got the down. This is the vulnerable time, so just running back up this hillside, throw in the grenades, find the angles for it. Maybe you're going to get something out of it, but you're just trying to stop the reses. Anything that's going off is just going to stall it. So now you can see everybody's just trying to play along the side of this, and everybody from Turkey is using all the utility they've been able to store this entire game.
There are Molotov cocktails coming in here everywhere as Turkey is storming this compound, trying to knock Chinese Taipei out of the best position into this circle. You can see Merrick leading the push here, but no, he goes down to a great grenade by Chai Wei.
It is just so deadly right down inside that garage right now, and you can see Turkey's trying to figure out, is it worth do we continue to push up onto this? Meanwhile, Germany's like, let's just position for the following bloodbath. We'll just let you guys fight it out and then just rip you apart afterwards.
Yeah, Chris has got that M249. Let's see if he can rip some faces with it. He's posted up. He's hearing all this battle going on as Sixmo has stayed behind to cover his teammates from that compound.
All right, so it looks like a little bit of a retreat is coming out from Turkey now. Aware where it's Chris is at. He's going to go down to a nice grenade, just dropped right at his feet. So now Germany realizes, okay, their outside push is in a little bit of trouble. That's going to be a very risky res to try to go for from anybody on Germany. They know that's a vulnerable spot. Grenades are starting to rain down next to them as well. Germany's just trying to go for these repositions, but with the defense that came up of the building, that forced Turkey back down on a different angle.
Yeah, with Chris losing that left flank here, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Germany to push up. Meanwhile, the battle still continues to rage here between Turkey and Chinese Taipei. You can see a beautiful mine trying to find some headshots with that SKS through that window.
We've got Chinese Taipei finally down on the first floor of their buildings. Look like they might be trying to figure out what's going on and where Turkey's at. But Iroh, this guy can frag the world out right now. He's in a beautiful spot onto it. And are they going to actually be able to encroach up onto this and try to get that res? No. A couple of shots coming out from Beautiful Death is going to force it back away. There is that touch of a hillside, but I don't know. This is really, really hazardous to go for. Brexco actually has the angle on this, might be able to provide a little bit of defense.
All right, we're trying to get this res down here onto Chris. Udyr is up front, trying to protect his teammate. Is Brexco on the other side? A Beautiful Death, though, does get that headshot onto SR and another knock onto Chinese Taipei.
Keep in mind, we are in circle 9, so everybody is being forced right into the center of this. It's Chris is back up, has some grenades, just trying to get a little bit of revenge onto what happened to him. Beautiful Death steps back, doesn't have the grenade connect onto him, but slowly and steadily it's Chris moving forward, just trying to get control over the center of the circle. Meanwhile, Turkey is so caught up looking back over towards Chinese Taipei, they want to catch those kills as they leave out. A big grenade coming out from Brexco's gonna take one down though.
And It's Chris is back up and firing. That's a big grenade from It's Chris.
Now Germany looking back over towards Chinese Taipei. They've got the numbers, they've got the angle, but look at those shots coming up. We are in a 2v1 as it's just trying to fight their way out, but there's nowhere to go. The blue is forcing him up inside of it, and Germany takes the last round.
Germany, chicken dinner once again for them. They've had a great finish here today. They've had a really good tournament as well, giving them
전 세계 16개 팀이 3일 동안 치열한 경기를 펼쳤는데요. 오늘까지도
16 nations around the world,
팀이 결정이 안 됐습니다.
tense matches.
치열한
So the last match, we did not know who the winner was.
네이션스컵 서울 2019 3일의 장단팀을
All 15 rounds called. Number 3, it is Team Canada.
매 경기 최선을 다하는 모습 보여줬죠. 어려운 상황에서도 끝까지 포기하지 않고 최선을 다하면서
All the hardest situations, they're trying to survive all the time and kept the pride of their region, their country, Team Canada.
끝까지 자신의 위치를 사수하면서 최선을 다한 선수들에게
Kept their position all around, and another round of applause for Team Canada here. Third place.
캐나다 팀에게는요 상금 5만 불이 수여가 되겠습니다. 그리고
Third place, we got 15,000 USD.
코치 주어지겠습니다.
Flowers for all the
최선을 다하는 모습
team members.
선수들과 하나되는 모습을 보여준 캐나다 팀에게 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수를
Another big round of applause showing all the sportsmanship on stage, Team Canada.
네, 앞에 카메라를 보시고요. 포토 타임.
Photo time, look at the camera.
활짝 웃어주세요.
Smile. Cheese.
네, 다시 한번 감사드리고요. 축하드리겠습니다. 그리고 시상을 도와주신
Congratulations and thank you.
신지석 디렉터님에게도 다시 한번 큰 박수를
And also
부탁드립니다. 고맙습니다.
big thanks to the Jaker.
네, 선수들도 자리해 주시길 부탁드리겠습니다. 펍지 네이션스컵 서울 2019 이어서 2위
PUBG Nations Cup 2019.
진행하도록 하겠습니다.
Go ahead.
이 시상에는요
Second place award.
플레이어 언노운 그린님께서 수고를 해주시겠습니다. 뜨거운 박수로
You guys all know him.
모시겠습니다.
Player unknown himself, Brendan Green.
차지했습니다. 최고의
Really close first place, but second place. Showed the best performance overall.
차지하지 못했습니다. 우승 못지않은
Only a few points away from first place, but it was so close. But
골라보겠습니다.
call second place. Team South Korea.
전 세계 최고의 선수들이 구성된 대한민국 아쿠아 5.
It was the best team. Alpha 5, Pio, Nonix, Loki,
준우승을 차지하면서 한 팀임을 증명을 해냈습니다.
becoming the runner-up of Nations Cup. They proved once again that Korea among the strongest around the nation and the world.
감사 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 네, 축하드리고요.
Congratulations all around once again.
끝이 아니라 새로운 시작이죠.
Not the end, only the beginning for all these members.
선전하는 모습을 기대하겠습니다.
Team does even better.
네, 카메라를 봐주시고 기념 촬영을 진행하도록
That
하겠습니다.
PDC, another prototype for Team South Korea.
어깨 펴고
Widen your shoulders, things that you couldn't do today.
11월에
You get to show it once again in Pubg Global Championship.
여러분 다시 한번 최선을 다한 선수들에게 뜨거운 박수를
To the Korean players,
부탁드리겠습니다.
another big round of applause.
그리고 시상을 도와주신 브랜든 플레이어 언론 그린님에게도 뜨거운 박수를
Yeah, also another-
부탁드립니다.
Another round of applause for Brendan Green, player unknown.
이어서 펍지 네이션스컵 서울 2019
PUBG Nations Cup Seoul 2019. Time round the champion.
시상에는요 펍지 주식회사 김창환 CEO님이 직접 수고를 해주시겠습니다. 뜨거운 박수로 모시겠습니다.
Chang Kim on stage to present the award to the champion.
기적의 역전승을 만들어냈죠.
The miracle
끝까지
happened.
포기하지 않았습니다.
Final day, they did not give up until the final round.
서울 2019에서
PUBG Nations Cup Seoul 2019. The champion.
골라보겠습니다.
Let's call them out. Team Russia.
아두지 우바 세냐 캔바
Uba Senya Kenba.
4명 선수들은 대한민국 서울
All four players, Jangchung Arena, Seoul, South Korea. They have made a legend, a historical moment
마지막 페이스3의 우승까지 차지한
till the very end in day 3 in the final round and become the champion, a strong team.
뜨거운 박수를 부탁드립니다.
Round of applause to the champions, Team Russia.
전 세계 최고의 팀이 되겠다는 그 각오를 밝혔죠.
Be the best
네이션스컵을
team
시작으로
in the world,
앞으로 러시아 팀의 행보를
starting with
지켜보도록
the
하겠습니다.
Nations Cup. We'll be watching Team Russia,
엄청나게 큰
where they can get at the end of the year,
이
have
분위기를
gigantic trophies in their hands.
다시 한번 최선을 다해준 선수들 감사드리고
And again, thanks to all the players from Team Russia for having such a crystal performance.
네, 기념 촬영을 진행하도록 하겠습니다.
Another photo time for the champions.
다시 한번 축하드리고요. 그리고 시상을 도와주시고 이렇게 멋진 대회를 열어주신 펍지 주식회사
Also, thank you for
김창환
having
대표님께도 다시
this
한번
bunch of
뜨거운
esports and
박수를
another big round of applause for CH Kim.
다시 한번 감사드리고요. 앞으로도 멋진 경기 기대하도록 하겠습니다.
Thank you once again.
네,
Hope to see
선수들의
more of
피날레는
these
잠시
great
후에
matches.
펼쳐질 예정입니다. 대기해 주시길
We'll have the final
부탁드리겠습니다.
moments for the champions on stage.
펍지 네이션스컵 서울 2019
PUBG Nations Cup Seoul 2019.
16개 국가
In
선수들이
Seoul,
와서
South Korea, we
멋진
have
펼쳤습니다.
Players from 16 nations
정말 수많은 팬분들이 응원의
coming
메시지를
all together, and we have so many fans coming down to the venue, and the passion from all the players around the world. Many were touched and moved by their plays. Part of esports in Korea.
만들어준 그리고 노력해준 선수들과 팬 여러분
thank all the players,
the
fans, and also the production. Want to have big shout out and thanks to them. We have PUBG Global Championships coming up. From all the support and love from around the world, I think we were able to have such a great event. Promise you to have better events, better moments. Where we close. Thank you to all the players for 3 days, all the viewers around the world, and to all the staff, big thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.